Hey everybody, Everett's live music coming to you on the 16th of August 2023. Following up, I left you off on that last one about weather and stuff. We were talking about the warm fronts, and the cold fronts and the different activity of animals and stuff. I always hope for the kid to chime in. Don't hear much back on my channel, but I won't stop because I think it's good to think and react and investigate and find out as much as we can about everything. Perhaps some follow-ups on, I would expect, like on mine, I get done, I'm like, how about like a high pressure system is what you're talking about, right, Chad? With warm, dry air being more dense and heavier than, say, wet air. Well, yes, that's true. And cold air is actually denser and heavier than warm air, right? But we're always going to have to include in much of the conversation would be the moisture level in the air, because that's in the end what's going to play a determining fact too. But there's all these beautiful things happening around us and these conversations we can be having. I watched Tyson a moment ago. It's funny, Tyson, there's a couple Tysons in our lives. One was a boxer. One's like really, he appears pretty intelligent. He speaks well for me. I kind of enjoy it. I like he's speaking to the kids and stuff. I don't know if we'll ever connect, but a little bed experiment. There's bed warmers, and then there's somebody in the middle, and they're wearing things and clothes in their bed warmers because now it's just funny. So I comment back like, yeah, and I'm wondering about the insulation value on the clothing they're wearing. LOL. Because it's a laugh out loud thing, and I think so many of us would speak so many times knowing there's going to be so many variables. It's really hard to cover them, but I think it's beautiful that we're trying to bring a conversation to the table to interest everyone in what's happening immediately around us. I was going to add more to the comment that I sent back, but I think less will be more in time. I'm not begging for my channel to get going. I don't ask people. Please sign up. It's really weird. Like, I guess we could buy likes. Like, I think I could like my channel, just keep liking it, and then it would look like it's been liked. I would never do that. I don't know. But back into, like, temperatures and stuff, and when I work in water, I'll touch on this real quick and then maybe get back to that weather thing, is in water, we have apparatuses, the backflow devices, and hydrants and stuff. Most of our hydrants are dry barrel, so the hydrant's up here and the water is actually down here. That's why the hydrants don't freeze. The water inside. And when you hit the hydrant, the water doesn't shoot in the air. There's only a few places in the continental United States that it's like that. It's all down south and out west. And I live out west. There's a couple of them here, but there's not many at all. Not anymore, at least. I mean, they don't even, under the uniform design and construction standards, they're not allowed anymore here in Vegas because we do get freezing temperatures. But for the backflow devices that are where the water's up there at that level, if the water's moving, it's going to freeze at a totally different temperature. It's quite low. I don't have the figure today. I could look it up. I would have to, because I don't keep that in my mind. But I'm just letting you know. And then when the water's not moving, like in some of the fire systems, and it's above ground, and it gets really cold, well, once it gets to freezing, whether you even have the thing wrapped in like styrofoam or whatever you insulate it in, it's eventually going to get to the temperature of The ambient temperature is going to reach everything. What is around you will eventually reach everything, no matter how insulated. And then it might hold that temperature there longer, and when the sun comes out and when the sun goes down, So there's going to be time frames. There's going to be so many variables. The most important one from my angle would be like moving water. It's gonna have to be brutally cold, negative, I don't know what, 20, 30, more. It takes a lot to freeze moving water. So whenever we leave our faucets dripping, I remember being in one spot in life, it was negative 17 one morning, and the water had frozen, so I climbed underneath the trailer and I put a candle up there and I got it going. And if you just leave a drip every day, man, in those coldest times before you leave the house, you won't have any problems. Just a drip, because moving water makes that much difference. And there's all these things, and but to get our minds thinking different, and so many of us lose our math and everything, and I really dig some of that. I really dig my music too, but back to the weather. We were talking earlier, and I left off, and I was like, I had those warm front moves through, right? And then what you would have come with it would be high pressure. Right now, if you look across the United States, it's all high pressure, and everything's warm. I didn't zero in today. I glance at the stuff. I don't study everything like that, but I do glance at it, and I see the high pressure's way down. There's a really small low pressure way down low, Texas below. But for the most part, that's high pressure. That's the warm fronts. Low pressure is your cold fronts a lot of time. Then when we put the moisture in there, that's going to make a whole difference too. And then every time all these fronts meet one another, that's where all the winds and all the changing and all that. There can be the Coriolis effect too, where that's where it spins and turns into the tornadoes, because it's the constant up and down draft. As it moves up, and it gathers, and then it pushes down, and then it pushes more up, and then it creates this big cycle. There's so much to it, and I'm not a meteorologist, but I'm excited about what's around us. I like that stuff. I try to express it, and I'm glad for those that are doing the same. I like that I'm not wearing a shirt today, and there's no gimmick to my show. Maybe there'll just be a conversation someday. Maybe like I thought before, I'll change and I'll have a different channel or something. I'm not positive about all that. I do enjoy that. I hope other people hit back to any of us that step up here, man, and try to get us going and thinking about how we are. We're pretty much just like everything around us happening. And that's really cool. I think I'll always think that's so cool. Anyways, peace out, man. Take it easy. Check up on that. Tap into stuff that we've let go of for years, and dare to. We're part of it. It's part of us. Part of us is it, man. Together we make a difference. Check out my post sometime. There's a quick statement there, and I got some other quotes that I've made myself too throughout my days in my music. I think it's strong. Late.